Good evening and welcome. I'm Selena Mead with the Vsb Tv 11 Evening News on this Friday, March the 14th. At the top of tonight's news, it came as a shock to many people, especially Senator Mark Daniels last week when he was searched by police after they had received a tip that a client he was representing was getting threats from members of the public. The police have since issued an apology, one of which Mark Daniels says he accepts, but laments that he still has many questions pertaining to the situation, one which coincidentally occurred on the same day police attended PLP's Mark Bean's business, Paradise Games. For the first time, Senator Mark Daniels spoke publicly to VSB's Julia Smatt about this development.
The more that I hear from different sources and as things arise, the more I start to question overall what's really going on. And as there seems to be some overlay or impact with another politician, that being my party leader, Mark Bean, and what he's going through, and then just having a little bit, obviously, of insight, because this has all come about from the same day. So we've been in communication with each other quite a bit since Friday, and we are well aware of each other's circumstances, and we're both well aware of the correspondence and communication that's been sent and received by both parties. And what seems to be in the press is contradictory to a lot of internal communications that have been sent and received with ourselves and other entities. So it leaves a lot of question marks, and like I said, time will tell. I'm sure that there is some heat being applied to a lot of different entities, and I think there's a lot of passing the buck going on right now, because the implications, if any of the conspiracies were true, the implications are quite dire. And I think if they are true, then we have really entered into a new form of politics. So the police are basically saying it was a misunderstanding, but it's a very odd misunderstanding on two fronts. And all I can do is just try and, time will tell. I'm sure more information will come forward. I've heard various kind of statements made and accusations made and different things like that. And in this context right now, where lawsuits seem to be filed at every whim whenever a politician is questioned or raised, I'm not trying to delve into any kind of political accusations or anything like that, but of course I will say that thoughts went straight through my head immediately as to whether or not there might have been any political interference. Without question, I would be ignorant to not at least assess and weigh up. And it's interesting because I haven't had any kind of contact from anyone from the other side or anything to say, wow, this has happened to you, or how are you, or this is a misunderstanding, or anything like that. So, it's something that I just have to kind of weigh up, and time will tell, I guess. But ultimately speaking, it is concerning in this political climate that we would have these kind of misunderstandings happening. And certainly when I spoke with one of the officers involved in this situation, the officer did say to me that no doubt this would appear like a conspiracy.
And for the full interview, log on to YouTube and search for VSB Interviews Senator Mark Daniels. Following last night's statement from the PLP castigating the police force, the DPP and the governor for allegedly allowing politics to interfere with the pursuit of justice through the investigation of the opposition leader Mark Bean's betting office has produced a response from the police. Brian Darby provides us with these contents.
The Bermuda Police Service is an apolitical organization that is governed by very clear obligations and responsibilities laid down by the Bermuda Constitutional Order and the Police Act of 1974. Political wishes do not feature in our decisions, and I wish to assure everyone that this particular case was not directed by any political imperative. We have already made a statement about preliminary inquiries into the business activities of some betting shops in relation to lottery tickets. Those inquiries are not limited to one shop. To date, officers from the Central Community Action Team have visited 4 betting shops in Hamilton to check compliance with Section 2 of Lotteries Act 1944. Those findings have been communicated to the DPP, and the Bermuda Police Service is taking legal advice on whether or not any offences have been disclosed at any of the businesses. I also acknowledge that Senator Daniels was searched by our officers. This resulted from an error in judgment by a supervisor and not as a result of directive from any senior officer. The officer has apologized to Senator Daniels, and this was followed up by a senior officer apologizing on behalf of the Bermuda Police Service. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
Thank you, Brian. Minister of Community Affairs Wayne Scott told Parliament today that paying out $12 million a month in financial assistance was a totally unsustainable practice. and it had not helped to get 38 public complaints of fraud since January, 18 of which had been proven.
Madam Chairman, abuse, misuse, and fraud are committed by a small margin of recipients. However, one infraction is one too many. In January of this year, the department launched an anonymous hotline for persons to report suspected cases of abuse of the system. The department continues to extend an invitation to those members of the general public who may be aware of anyone who may be abusing the system to report any possible misuse of government funds by calling 297-STOP, or that is 297-7867. Madam Chairman, to date, the 297-STOP number has generated some 38 phone calls to the department since the first week of January 2014. This averages out to be over 1 call per day. Of the 38 calls, 3 have been unsubstantiated. 3 have been in reference to former clients who are currently inactive on financial assistance. 5 were for general complaints or comments made by the public. 9 relate to open and ongoing investigations, and 18 have been substantiated. In other words, these early statistics show that some 18 of 21 anonymous calls, or 86%, have been found to be valid and represent a misuse of the financial assistance program. I can confirm that steps have been taken to address the abuses that were reported. Madam Chairman, I have to stress again that payouts of over $12 million monthly are entirely unsustainable, and we will ask that members of the general public, general community, and private sector alike all take this current situation into account.
Well, if you aren't wedded to your hair, this is a great way to give back. It's that time of the year again when people across Bermuda are shaving their heads for the St. Baldrick's Foundation, all in the name of raising money for cancer research. This year, the Director of Partnerships for the St. Baldrick's Foundation, Susan Hurd, has flown into Bermuda from Pennsylvania for the event. The cause is dear to Ms. Hurd's heart, as she lost her own son at a very young age to cancer. Before her son died, he asked his mom to promise to use her voice to help all the kids battling cancer. Ms. Hurd spoke to VSB's Julia Smatt about the event and the progress cancer research is making.
When you think back about 20 years ago, most children who were diagnosed with cancer died. That was it was a death sentence. Cancer really was a deadly disease. And it is still the #1 disease killer of children in the United States and Canada. But in some types of cancer, like leukemia, a certain type of leukemia, there's over an 80% cure rate, which was not possible before. So by funding that very basic bench science and working with the mice in the laboratory, the doctors have been able to discover some new therapies, new models, and not just chemotherapy, which is our primary way of treating cancer, but that is a very toxic way to cure the body of cancer. So looking at things like antibodies and immunotherapy, using the body's own cells to cure themselves, that's all made tremendous progress over the years since we've had more funding going to it. Truly, I am overwhelmed personally by just the generosity of the Bermudian spirit getting behind all of this and seeing the children being so willing to just shave it all off, and especially this group, the teenagers who are feeling more about their appearance, and they don't seem to care in there today. There's a lot of energy.
And this event kicked off at Saltus Grammar School, where around 100 teens had agreed to have their heads shaved. The school managed to surpass their goal of raising $120,000. The Bermuda Cancer and Health Center is teaming up with St. Baldrick's Foundation and intends to use the funds for a Sun Smart initiative amongst young people. Tara Soares, the Bermuda Cancer and Health Center, explains.
We know in Bermuda, according to the Bermuda National Tumor Registry, that the incidence of skin cancer is 12% higher in adults in Bermuda than it is in the United States. So the funding from St. Baldrick's will be used as a prevention program targeted to our children to encourage good Sun Smart behaviors so that we can prevent those cancers happening when they become an adult.
VSB's Julia Smatt spoke with 2 students caught in kind of a conundrum. They were both equally excited and nervous to shave their locks off.
It's great. I mean, I've never done this before, but it's worth it. Raised quite a bit of money for charity. It's cool.
So how long was your hair before it got all shaved off?
It was pretty long.
Like to your shoulders?
No, it was down to the very bottom was the base of my neck, and it was pretty thick.
What inspired you to have all your locks shaved off today?
I've been wanting to do it for a couple years now. I don't know, I just feel like, I just want to help with the, cancer research.
And so are you a little excited to see how you'll look after?
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous.
You can count on us.
Save $1.50 per pound on fresh XL assorted pork chops, only $3.49 per pound. Save $4 per package on fresh strawberries, just $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Simply 5,000 double-rolled toilet tissue, only $3.49 for a package of 4. Makes a great and quick meal. ShopRite spaghetti, only $1.19 for a 16-ounce box. Save 80 cents on 1-liter bottles of regular or Diet Coke or regular Sprite soda, only $2.09. All stores open until 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
For much more furniture, visit Bermuda's only Ashley Furniture Gallery. Big Savings Zone. You want the best? Forget the rest. For all your furniture needs, shop Big Savings Zone and support your local retailers. Have you ever ordered something online expecting it to be a certain price, but when it arrives it ends up being a whole lot more? Beware of those unexpected hidden fees. That never happens at Big Savings Zone. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Big Savings Zone at the end of Stocks Road, St. David's.
Digicel Postpay Refresh is here. Get any of the latest smartphones with no money down. Easy monthly payments start at only $10 per month. Choose from a wide range of devices. Pay absolutely nothing up front and only $35 per month for a Samsung Galaxy S4 or $40 per month for a BlackBerry Q10. And then upgrade to a new smartphone whenever you like. Digicel Postpaid Refresh for all Digicel customers. Join Digicel today. Now you can bring your number with you. Visit DigicelBermuda.com for details. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
And welcome back to Vsb TV 11. Serenaded by the Peterborough, Ontario Salvation Army Band and Choir and attended by visiting and local Rotarians and dignitaries, the Walter Maddox Memorial Rotary Clock was unveiled today at City Hall. It was under the leadership of Walter Maddox that some $240 million were raised towards the eradication of polio. Paying tribute was Robert S. Scott of Rotary International, much to the pride of Margaret Maddox, who unveiled the clock in memory of her late husband.
Walter Maddox, was the first man to raise funds, huge number of funds, for the eradication of polio. And subsequently, because of his leadership, we've now raised over $1.2 billion US dollars and are continuing to raise approximately 35 to 40 million per year for polio.
Now, I understand you're looking for the future total eradication of polio.
Oh, I have no doubt. I've been working at this for nearly 30 years, and I am absolutely confident within the next 2 or 3 years polio will be totally eradicated from the world. It'll be the second disease so done, smallpox being the first. And it will show that mankind can do this with leadership.
Well, it means a great deal. Our whole family that are here today have been very much involved with the work of Rotary over the years. Growing up from being quite small, their father always involved them in different projects. And it's so thrilling to know that the Polio Plus now is almost there. We're 99% sure that it will be a success and we can eradicate polio from the world. If my husband was here today, I'm sure he would be absolutely delighted that this has happened. And I would love to thank Rotarians around the world for their generosity and the time that they have given over the years to make this dream a reality. And I thought the service today was absolutely superb. The amount of planning that has gone into it by the Rotarians is enormous, and I'm sure everybody appreciated everything, all the wonderful things and the lovely prayers that were said. And so it's just been a very wonderful day.
For the past 10 years, taxi drivers have been allowed to operate Toyota Alphard minivans as taxis, despite the fact that they are sold with illegally tinted windows. Now, Transport Minister Sean Crockwell plans to introduce a new policy on April the 1st that will please everyone.
There are several known advantages of tinted vehicle windows. especially in warmer climates with greater sun exposure. Owners of Alphard claim that besides protection against heat intrusion, the air conditioning system does not have to work as hard, and the vehicle also cools off more quickly, reducing fuel consumption levels during the summer months. We also know that there are disadvantages to having tinted vehicle windows. The darker tinted windows could pose security challenges because it could be difficult seeing the occupants of the vehicle. However, the new policy would not impact the current levels of light transmission through the windscreen, forward passenger window, and driver's side window. Therefore, the driver and front passenger will continue to be clearly visible. Mr. Speaker, since the tint level of the Alphard has been accepted in Bermuda for the last 10 years, under Section 20A1C of the Motor Car Construction, Equipment and Use Regulations 1952, which makes provision for the Minister in his discretion to exempt any class of motor car from complying with all or any of the requirements relating to window tint, the Ministry now introduces a policy to allow public service vehicles, namely minibuses, taxis, and limousines, to be imported with factory tint or have tint affixed to the rear passenger windows and rear windscreen that are not less than 24%. Mr. Speaker, I reiterate that the current prescribed levels for the front windows of the vehicle will not be changed.
Now let's take a look at the daily markets presented by Bias.
Growing tensions between the West and Russia ahead of the Ukraine's referendum in Crimea this weekend pushed stocks on major world markets down on Friday. Stocks in the U.S. declined, with the S&P 500 index extending its biggest weekly drop since January. The Dow Jones Industrial fell 0.27% to 16,066, while the S&P 500 lost a further 0.28% to end at 1,841. 5,194 shares of Bank of Butterfield traded today on the Bermuda Stock Exchange. The share price fell 0.5% to $1.99. 100 BF&M shares traded hands at $16.65, and 47 Ascendant Group shares traded at $8. European stocks fell to their lowest level in 5 weeks as investors waited a referendum that may lead to Crimea's secession from the Ukraine. The UK's FTSE 100 fell 0.4% to 6,528. Asian stocks dropped after at least 4 investment banks cut their forecast growth on China. The Nikkei plunged 3.3% to 14,328, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng fell 1% to 21,539. Latin American equity markets were generally lower on Friday. Brazil's Bovespa fell 0.97% on concern an economic slowdown will spur a cut in Brazil's credit rating. Treasuries posted the biggest weekly gain in almost 2 years as unrest in the Ukraine drove investors to the safety of U.S. government debt. 10-year yields were unchanged at 2.65%. The U.S. dollar traded mixed against major trading partners. The yen climbed for a 5th day versus the dollar as investors sought haven assets. And that was a look at the daily markets, brought to you by Bias. We'll have more news after the break.
Save $2 on vine on tomatoes, only $2.99 per pound. Save $1.40 per pound on fresh Purdue chicken drumsticks value pack, only $1.99 per pound. Great savings of 70 cents on a dozen imported white eggs, only $2.39. All varieties of the yogurt 6-ounce tubs, only 99 cents. Soak up savings with Scott White paper towels, only $1.99 per roll. All stores open until 10 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
Copyfax is Bermuda's authorized Samsung dealer. See a large range of Samsung color and black and white multifunctional machines, printers, scanners, faxes, and copiers, and all net workable. Copyfax has Samsung machines suitable for home, office, or any size business in an A4 format, taking up less room than other similar equipment. And replacement supplies are in stock for all of their Samsung products. Affordable shopping at Copyfax Limited, where service comes first.
Do you know your rights as a consumer? Visit the Consumer Affairs website to find out how to hire a contractor, how to buy and maintain your vehicle, information on buying second-hand goods, tips for seniors and teens, personal finance tips, product recall information, to file a complaint with Consumer Affairs. For the latest consumer news and much more, visit ca.gov.bm.
The defunct broadcasting stations have more diverse programming than any other broadcasting company in Bermuda.
The Lord God Almighty, Jesus Christ.
1280 AM, the Bible Broadcasting Network. Beautiful, conservative Christian music and programs 24 hours a day. 1280 AM, one of the stations of the defunct broadcasting company.
Welcome back. In sports tonight, this Sunday's Round the Ground running race for the kids is just one of the sporting events that the Chartered Accountancy has introduced to the Bermuda sporting calendar. The firm's managing director, Craig Bridgewater, says it is not going to end there.
We know about the mile races already, but now something else is brewing.
Absolutely. The KPMG Around the Grounds race, which is taking place on Sunday, March 16th, starting at 1 o'clock. And KPMG continues to be committed to kind of youth and wellness, and this is just another piece of that series.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a pretty big event, quite a few hundred competitors.
Yeah, we got upwards of 600 students, or youth, I should say, so 600 last year. Hopefully we're going to have more this year. Encouraging everybody who's interested to come out and run. It's for all ages, all abilities as well, so you don't have to be the fastest. You just come out and have a good time. Mm-hmm. It's actually a very good afternoon for entire families, so we have vendors there selling refreshments. So it's not just about the races, it's actually about coming together and supporting each other.
Now, I've seen KPMG sponsor football in the past. We all know, as I stated earlier, about the Front Street Miles. Yep. Now it's Round the Grounds. Yep. Are you leaning towards running a little bit here?
Well, it's actually interesting. And we had some thoughts. We've been doing this for 16 years, so you can imagine that there must be some athletes who have actually gone through the whole KPMG series, yes, from doing the Round the Grounds through the KPMG Mile. It'd actually be interesting to actually sit down and see where they are now, and what kind of successes they've had. Where are they now?
Yeah, I can tell you, some of them have actually gone on to college.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually good that we're actually part of that. So I mean, from our perspective, supporting youth and actually supporting the future generations is very important.
Bermuda's accomplished female tennis stars are looking forward to April's Federation Cup Championships in Puerto Rico, in which 4 hand-picked players will compete to get Bermuda promoted to the America's #1 division. Terry Smith of the Bermuda Lawn Tennis Association is supervising the team.
Countries in our group are Barbados, Bolivia, Chile, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Guatemala, Panama, Peru, Puerto Rico, Trinidad and Tobago, and Uruguay.
That's a tough group.
Yeah, definitely. But we're looking forward to it. I mean, the squad is strong. A lot of the ladies have played collegiate tennis, academies, up and coming, good players. So
let's speak with some of the participants here. Name and how's training going for Fed Cup?
Hi, my name is Kayla Cross. Training has been well, working on our conditioning. That's my main thing, to get my fitness up.
All right.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Gordon. Training's been going really well. I think we've got a strong group this year, and it's just we've become so close over the many years that we've done this now. So it's comfortable and just going to push each other to be better.
All right.
Good afternoon. My name is Kirsten Soltis, and training's been going pretty good. It has its challenges, it has its ups and downs, but overall, it's coming together.
Okay. Back to you, Terry, for a quick question. This is 3, so there are 4 others.
4 others. We have Jacqueline Lambert, Tyler Smith, Tara Lambert, and Taylor McCarg, who's actually away at an academy at the moment.
Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday on 41 Victoria Street in Hamilton for your home appliance and hardware needs. Sears, washers and dryers, refrigerators and freezers, gas ovens and electric ranges, a large array of Craftsman tools and accessories, lawn and garden tools, fitness equipment, outdoor furniture, barbecue grills, and much, much more. Open 9 to 7, Monday to Saturday. Sears, bringing Bermuda the best variety at everyday low prices.
Choose to be healthy, Bermuda. Get out there and exercise with a sunscreen, hat, and shirt on every day. Eat healthy, don't smoke, and check your brown spots once a month to detect skin cancer early. Anything growing darker, bigger, jagged borders needs to be checked. Wear your sunscreen, hat, and shirt every day. Be sun safe, Bermuda.
Well, it was cold and windy. I drove past the water, and it is so rough. How rough? Rougher than Christmas with my in-laws. Today's weather shot is from Kathy Austin over sunrise over Napton Hill. It's just a lovely shot. It doesn't really show you how cold it was, but great sunrise, lots of great colors. Clouds in the area, but it's not showing the wind, and it was cold. I'm telling you. How cold? I asked a Canadian if it was cold. They said, yeah. And we all know Canadians are part polar bear. So if they say it, it's cold. Our highs and lows for today. Our high was 61 at 3 a.m. this morning. 3 a.m. Our low temperature, 55 at 8 a.m. this morning when I was taking the dog out. Trust me, I felt that. Currently, we're looking at 58 degrees. Humidity is 55%. Winds out of the north at 16 knots, and the barometric pressure is rising at 30.19 inches. For March, so far, we've seen 2.42 inches of rain. It has been a wet one. Total so far up to 16.73 inches. Normally, we'd have seen about 12.32 inches. Let's take a look at our satellite map. Well, cooler conditions this evening as the conditions continue to settle. Now, high pressure will then build throughout the weekend, bringing mainly fair conditions and light winds. Now, a new system is going to approach on Monday and Tuesday, bringing back those strong winds into the area. That cold front will pass through on Tuesday afternoon with showers and a chance of thunder. In the gateway cities, it's 65 and cloudy in Atlanta. Boston, mostly cloudy and 50 degrees. 70 degrees and mostly cloudy in Charlotte. London, mostly cloudy and 54. 79 and mostly sunny in Miami. New York, possible showers and 53. 81 and mostly sunny in Orlando. Philadelphia, possible showers and 60 degrees. 36 and a few flurries in Toronto. And over in D.C., mostly sunny and 64 degrees. For tonight, we're looking at a low temperature of 55, so bring your jacket. Partly to mostly cloudy. Winds out of the north at 15 to 20 knots. Then they'll decrease to 12 to 18 knots, and then they will decrease again. Switch out of the north-northeast at 8 to 12 knots. For tomorrow, we're looking at mostly sunny, high of 61, so the sun's not helping at all. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 knots, but they will be variable at 5 knots by the afternoon. For mariners tonight, there is a small craft warning in effect. Seas inside the reef 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef, like I'm saying, choppy and rough, 11 to 15 feet, and the sea temperature 69. So if you're cold, jump in the ocean. For mariners tomorrow, there is a small craft warning right through the afternoon. Seas inside the reef will be 2 to 4 feet. Seas outside the reef 7 to 11 feet. High tide is 8:33 a.m. and your low tide will be at 2:51 p.m. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. On Saturday, mostly sunny and 61. Sunday, mix of sun and clouds, high of 66. Monday, sunny periods, high of 71. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, showers increasing in the afternoon, a chance of thunder, but it will increase to 74. And on Wednesday, partly cloudy, high of 72. I'd like to, first of all, let's say congratulations to our photo winner of the week, Kathy Austin, for today's shot. This lovely shot of sunrise over Napton Hill. She's the winner of our dinner for two, and make sure you send in your shots, and you could be next week's winner. Now I'd like to send a special thank you to Bermuda Weather Service for all their help, and a big shout out to the Jamaican Grill in Bailey's Bay, who always say hello, and they say they love the show. Love you guys. Thanks for everything. See you all next week.
We thank you for choosing to spend your evening with us at Vsb TV 11. Have a safe and wonderful weekend. Good night, Bermuda.
Vsb TV 11, Bermuda.